In 2018, I escaped the hustle and bustle of Lagos State, Nigeria. I relocated to the Netherlands with high hopes and expectations. But what I did not prepare for was the cultural shock that awaited me on the other side of the globe. In today's video, we discuss some of the cultural shocks migrants encounter when moving to the Netherlands. So stay tuned. Before we get into all the details, I'd like to state here that the points I'll be discussing here are my own views, experiences, and opinions. I do understand that experiences differ from person to person based on background and your origin, so feel free to disagree with some of the things that I will be talking about and also share your own experiences in the comments section. Let's get started. The first thing that you will be confronted with when you arrive in Netherlands is the directness and bluntness of the Dutch people. The Dutch are known to be blunt and direct in communications, while in some cultures being direct and blunt, especially to someone who is older than you, might be considered rude or disrespectful. The Dutch do not consider it to be rude. For them, it is the best and efficient way to communicate. It doesn't matter to them if it feels uncomfortable to the receiver. They actually say what they mean without mincing words, and they expect others to do the same. And as a foreigner, you need to get comfortable answering some questions you might consider personal or intrusive. Questions like, are you not missing your family? Why did you come to the Netherlands? When are you going back? And things like that. For you, this might be something personal you don't want to talk to everyone about, but be sure to have some form of answer when you are asked these questions by a local person. And it's important to know that anything you don't want your co-workers to know about or every other person in the office to know about, you might consider keeping it to yourself, because once you mention it to one colleague, you might be surprised that it gets spread to every other person. They don't really see any reason to keep certain things secret. Everybody has got their own problems, and there shouldn't be any big deal talking about personal issues. And no topic is a taboo to them to discuss. So anything you would not feel comfortable discussing with the general office and every other colleague in the office, it might just be the best for you to keep it to yourself, especially when it comes to the office environment. I experienced this when I newly arrived in Netherlands and I was looking for accommodation. I didn't want to start talking to everybody in the office that I was looking for accommodation. I just spoke to one person. But by the time I came to work the next morning, every other colleague was asking me about the accommodation. They heard I'm looking for a house. And it was so surprising to me that, oh, this thing I discussed with this lady yesterday is already known by everyone in the department, and I wasn't prepared for that. So you really want to be sure before you discuss anything with a colleague in the office that it is really something that you want to go around. And as a foreigner, having a sense of humor and open mind would go a long way in helping you navigate the direct communication style of the Dutch. The Dutch language is one of the biggest hurdles for a migrant in the Netherlands. Although most Dutch can speak English very well. However, when you are unable to speak basic Dutch, it is very easy to feel isolated because most official communications are in Dutch. Legal contracts, government communications, every letter the government is going to send to you, everything is in Dutch. Product labels in the supermarkets are all in Dutch. At first, Google Translate will be your buddy. Google Translate will come to your aid. But as the day go by, you are expected to begin to put in effort in learning the language, picking the basic day-to-day words, being able to exchange pleasantries in the native language. This way you show interest in the community, and it's also a form of respect to your host community, and it opens door for better connection and networking within the community. Currently, there is a discussion ongoing in the polity about making Dutch language compulsory for international students. The Minister of Education is proposing a new policy that will make Dutch compulsory for those who are coming to study university in the Netherlands as from 2025. Of course, this will still have to go through the parliament for approval, and there will be arguments for and against this policy, but this is the direction the government is going. They want more people to show interest in the language. This will help them to integrate better in the society and be able to contribute to the growth of the society after their graduation. So the Dutch language is a necessary skill that you need to put in effort to learn as you come to the Netherlands. Even if your intention is to stay a few years and leave the Netherlands, it is still very advisable to put in effort in learning the Dutch language. Of course, there is the problem that a lot of expatriates talk about, and that is that when you're trying to speak Dutch and you're trying to communicate in Dutch with another Dutch person, you oftentimes see them switching to English to speak with you. And sometimes you don't know if it is because they are impatient to wait for you to express yourself, or they are uncomfortable with your accent, or they just want to prove to you that you don't need to bother, they can also speak English. Whatever the case may be, it is your responsibility to continue to put in the effort to speak as much as possible, because the only way that you will master the language is by speaking, is by using it. So go ahead and practice it with the elderly in the marketplaces, and just find opportunity to practice the usage of the language more often, and that way you pick up the skill faster. Though the Netherlands is considered open and welcoming to visitors, a survey among experts from different countries actually lists the Netherlands as one of the bottom 10 that it's so difficult to make friends with the locals. I've learned that in order for you to forge connections with the locals, it is best via hobbies and some form of activities, not as neighbors, not as colleagues, but things like footballs, musicals, or some form of hobbies. They are very high on hobbies in the Netherlands. So if you find them at such locations, you are more likely to interact with them better and connect with them better. Maybe you play hockey or tennis, or you go running, whatever. But find hobbies that you can participate in within the community, and that is where you will likely find connections faster. But when you are new in the Netherlands, it's best to start by interacting with other migrants like yourself. Join Facebook groups of expats, of internationals, attend meetups and things like that. There are lots of them in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, in Rotterdam, in all the cities in the Netherlands. First, you want to start where you meet other experts, share experiences with them, and then gradually you navigate building relationship with the locals. When you newly arrive in the Netherlands, you notice that there are a lot of homes with open windows, no curtains, or the curtains are spread wide open. You're passing by and you see them at dinner table or watching television or just relaxing in the living room, and it's just common. Some school of thought says that it is their own way of showing their openness and that there's nothing to hide, while another school of thought says that it is also a way of showing off their interiors of their beautiful homes. Whatever the case may be, as a foreigner, please do not stand and stare into their homes. They don't appreciate this. Just walk by. Don't go stand and peeping through their windows. You might not like the reaction you get. So be warned. Now it's time to look for accommodation. And then you notice how steep the staircase is. They are so narrow and steep, prone to falling, and dangerous. You cannot run down these staircases. In fact, in case of emergency, I'd imagine that these are very risky. But you find these in different apartments in the Netherlands. You're climbing the staircase and there is not enough room for your leg, and then you have to bend your head in some case if you're a tall person, and you just have to carefully climb the stairs and carefully climb back down. I moved to a new house recently, and I must tell you, within the first 1 month of living in this new accommodation, almost everyone in the family have had a fall down the staircase, until we figured out how to walk very carefully. And sometimes it feels safer to walk with your hands on the staircase. The toilets are the same, with tiny spaces and not enough room to stretch your feet. And this observation is strange considering how tall Dutch people are. In fact, they are considered the tallest in the world, but yet you have these very tiny toilets and steep stairs. One of the explanations is that there is not enough space in the Netherlands. The available space in the Netherlands is limited. So the buildings are constructed in such a way that you have just enough space for what you need. You don't, and nothing more. And these are some of the cultural differences you find as a foreigner in the Netherlands. Let me know which of these stood out for you. Which one did you find shocking, strange, or not strange? Leave your views in the comment section and subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already. Click on the screen and watch the next video, and I will see you there.